Hello everybody, CraftyAndy here, and this is Crafty Arts where I art. Now, this is not some traditional Warhammer tutorial. There are probably a million videos out there to cover the same topics over and over again until they all blur together and you can't tell the difference between each and every one of them. No. What I'm doing here, I'm just touching up these figures. I'm just using the side of my brush to paint gold highlights on these Eldar troopers, or whatever the fuck they're called. And that's it. There's your tutorial. And instead, I'm going to go over the journey of how these figures got done, because it was about a 4-year journey, a 3 to 4 year journey. So going way back to 2011, I was just moving out on my own, and I was looking for donations for a new camera, because Lord knows, even working 2 part-time jobs, you cannot afford it. Well, there was 3 part-time jobs. I was working 2, my husband was working 1, and going to school at the same time. Not much in the way of spending money in terms of fun outside of rent and utilities. So I was working 2 part-time jobs. I was working midnights at Walmart from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. and then from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at a sawmill. So I was getting about 4 hours of sleep at a time. And then later on I was working at Family Dollar constructing the store, meaning that I was putting up shelves, laying down, well, it wasn't laying down the floor, thank God, but stocking the shelves, that was a nightmare. But anyways, we were given these Warhammer figures to paint for a nice sizable donation towards our camera, and they got done in a pretty timely manner. I'd say roughly in about a week. Nishoba painted the avatar pictured here. He painted the all the Eldar units, and those were done. We found in time to get to another convention to give those back. However, he wasn't satisfied with the work. There was still some work to be done on the units themselves. So, like a good business person, we took those back and decided to finish them off. However, between these times, it was about a 6-month period to like a year almost. I started to work a insurance commission sales job, which involved me working about 60 hours a week. Nishoba was still working at the college and going to college, and we had about a 45-minute drive opposite of each other. My work was 45 minutes away north, his was 45 minutes away south. I was working about 60 hours a week, he was working about 30, but between the drive times, there wasn't much time to do anything. In fact, it was probably the worst time ever to take on a commission. So I didn't have a lot of time to do any art or any videos, and neither did Nishoba, especially when we moved out to Cadillac and we started struggling financially, because 100% commission sales job does not pay out well very often, at least often enough to make you feel comfortable with your situation. Unpaid bills, overdraft accounts, etc. Oh man. One of our cars died, so we're working with 1 car. So picture this, I have to drive 45 minutes down, drop off my husband, and then drive about an hour and 10 minutes back up to work in the morning. So we're getting up around 6 o'clock in the morning in order for me to get to work on time. And I'm getting off around 9 p.m., 10 p.m., Tuesdays and Fridays. From 10 p.m. driving all the way down, so now it's like 11:30, driving all the way back, it's about midnight, time to go to bed. That was our day. That was our day, Monday through Friday. And sometimes Saturday I would have to go to work to make up my appointments that I wasn't making. Not a lot of time for videos or making artwork. No free time, no enjoyment whatsoever. So we were struggling to stay afloat, and thankfully Nishoba graduated. He then joined my insurance business with me because there wasn't anything else that was going to pay us enough to get by. And what the fuck else were we going to do? Live with 5 roommates in a small shack or something? Fuck that. We started looking for other work. I didn't have time to look for other work. And Nishoba managed to find other work down in Ohio, thanks to a friend of ours. So I hurried his ass up and helped him move down to Ohio. So before I was able to move down to Ohio, I had to find a job. I wasn't just going to pack up and move down there with no fucking job. I had a huge commission payout waiting for me. So I had to wait it out until I could move as well. Yeah, we're talking like tens of thousands of dollars here. So there's no way in hell I was just going to quit before that paid out. Also, the work was just never stopping. Again, working 60 to 70 hours a week. Not a lot of time. You get one day off a week most of the time. It was Sunday. And I spent most of that day doing laundry. Because we didn't have a washer and dryer. I had to go to the laundromat. And that's almost a day in itself. It was brutal. It was fucking brutal. There was no time to think for myself. Or think, you know, what else I want to do with myself. That was pretty much my passion by default. Because the alternative was I go broke and become homeless. Or I go broke and have to live with a friend. And hope to God that Neshoba can make enough money to pay for my ride to get down to Ohio. Just a terrible situation. We were very fucking lucky. In fact, about 2 weeks after I moved down from Ohio, the vehicle that we had, the first vehicle, the timing belt broke, and that was out. That was completely out of commission, so we were stuck with one car again. If I waited any longer to move down to Ohio, I would have been stuck up north in Michigan, with no real means to get down there. Thankfully, though, I put in the effort. Like every moment of free time. Every moment of free time was me looking for another job in between working the insurance sales job. Yeah, there was no fucking screwing around. There was no room to screw around. Shit, if I slacked off in any sense of the word if I even thought about slacking off, that would have been the end of me. That would have been the end of all of this. I would have had to turn to my parents and relatives to find help. And no one wants to fucking do that. It's fucking hard asking for help. It should be hard to ask for help, by the way. Yeah, that's another rant altogether. But we made it down to Ohio and started living in a friend's house. So I went from a commission sales job, I secured another job. However, to fill the gap, because it wasn't going to start until 4 months later, I decided to I had to take another job at the time, and it was another network marketing company where I went door to door selling AT&T UVerse packages, and that was 100% commission too. So I was walking 8 hours a day around the neighborhood, knocking on doors, selling useless AT&T UVerse packages. And don't ever get involved in a network marketing company. They'll try to sell everything to you. They'll try to sell they'll try to say you can make all this money and you can start your own business and blah blah blah. It's all useless shit. And so living in our friend's house, not a lot of room to work with there. All our stuff was in storage. Most of our stuff was in storage, aside from our computers and some of our clothes. So I didn't have much room or time, once again, to work on any of my fucking figures, any kind of artwork. Yeah. So that was about almost a year we were there, struggling to make up on bills, on rent, just falling behind left and right. And it wasn't like Neshoba wasn't getting paid well. I was the only one not getting paid well at the time. And then finally my other job started, my real 9-to-5 job. And we were able to work our way out to our own place. But at the same time, we lost our other vehicle. Brakes failed and there was an accident. And so here we are in an area where the buses don't run. And I had to walk 2 hours to work and 2 hours from work. And in order to make up for lost income, I had to work overtime. So here I am, getting up at 6 o'clock. So I can walk to work 2 hours, work until about 10 o'clock, so I was working overtime left and right. And so was Neshoba. We had to Uber him to and from work, so that was costly. And after I get off of work at 10 o'clock, I walked home and it was midnight and we go to bed. That was Monday through Friday. Oh no, that was like Tuesday through Saturday at the time. Shit. So once again, these figures just sat there, gathered dust. I didn't have any means to contact the person at the time. I didn't know where he was. I didn't have a number for him. Well, let me tell you something. There was about a year period where we were just living on boxes. We just had our computers, some clothes, an air mattress, you know, a couple blankets, of course, pillows. And that was it. Where the fuck was I going to paint these figures? On the goddamn floor, on the carpet, on the hardwood floor, in the kitchen? I didn't have any of my art supplies with me. They're all in storage. Shit. Fuck. I thought they could get done at some point, but a year passed, and we still didn't have our shit. We just said, fuck it. We took out whatever finances we had at the time. We drove Friday up to Michigan, which is about a 6-7 hour drive. Got our stuff out of storage Saturday. Just me and my husband packed all our stuff out of storage into the van and drove all the way back down. 8 hours. Saturday and unpacked Sunday. We unpacked Sunday. Oh man, it was a fucking nightmare. I can't believe we were able to do it. Neshoba was being Ubered back and forth to work and from work. I had to walk. Bills were a struggle at the time because you're paying all this extra money for, you know, rides to work and from work. And I was exhausted coming home. 2-hour walk there and from work and working overtime. Yeah, fuck that shit. I don't even think I could do that again if I had to. Yeah, I could. But I don't have to do that anymore, thank God. Thankfully though, you know, when you're not working 60 hours or 70 hours a week and having to take overtime left and right, you do have some time to yourself and to actually think about what the hell you want to do with yourself. So that's where I started to work on crafty arts. Started to get some work done on that. And when I got my supplies back, I figured before I do my next episode, I gotta work on these goddamn Warhammer figures. I gotta get these done. The commissioner has been very patient this entire time. A span of almost 3 years before I could actually get these fucking things done and get anything done in a timely manner now. Boy, it's amazing how much motivation you can find when you have the peace of mind that your bills are paid, rent is paid, and you're not falling behind anymore. You're actually working on a savings now. So I managed to get all that done, and here I am finishing up those figures. About a couple days later, I got in touch with the individual who commissioned these on Facebook. Thank God I was able to find him on there. Got his new address, sent those out. They're done, complete, finished. Here they are, and this is where I am now, ready to do some work that I actually enjoy. And I love my job that I have right now. It is a means to an end, for the most part, because I want to get this off the ground. Oh man, I mean, if I was offered something like that today, obviously it wouldn't take nearly as long. I mean, I was offered a commission like a month ago, and it took me like 2 days to get it done. It's amazing how much more motivation you have when you have that peace of mind, knowing that your bills are paid, your work schedule is consistent, and you don't have to work overtime and exhaust the hell out of yourself. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was interesting. Until next time, I'm CraftyAndy, signing out. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you found that all interesting. I'm CraftyAndy, signing out. And if you like this, like, subscribe, share with all your friends. There's more episodes coming on the way here. More episodes like this as well. Just try to fill in the gaps before the next real Crafty Arts episode gets made. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.